Let's meet the dudes. Dave, authority on all things hard rock and metal. Avid CD collector, animal lover, king of the grill, and master mixologist. Jason Smith, apprentice to Big Bros of Jimbo on being introduced to the rock gods of the 1970s through his amazing record collection. PhD in viewership of MTV from 1981 until Metallica cut their hair. Black belt in knowledge of good fucking music. Jimbo rocked the Inland Empire in Southern California for over 25 years. First album was Kiss Alive in 4th grade. Shared the stage with the Scorpions, Van Hagar, Jackal, just to name a few. Has zero musical talent and plays CDs out of tune. If he had an ounce of talent, he would be the greatest frontman ever. Tag, you're it, boys. Showtime.
Hello, welcome to episode number 2 of 3 Dudes and 1 Band. Tonight, we're going to talk about the band that defines the word decadence. They had car accidents. They did plenty of drugs, alcohol, had a couple sex tapes thrown in there, and also one of them died and came back from the dead. Now, if you haven't guessed, they really lived the true rock and roll lifestyle. And if you haven't figured out, and you haven't looked at my buddy Dave's shirt or that excellent poster on the wall, tonight's band is Motley fucking Crue.
Yep.
We're on our way, baby. Come on, Jay.
All right, here we go. We're going to start right out. 1981, we got introduced to the album Too Fast for Love.
Let me hold that up, Jason.
Please do.
The Too Fast for Love edition, mind you. I'm sorry, the Leather Records version.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Nice.
CD's a boot, okay, but still got it.
Is it bad? Is it bad? I'm a little turned on by the cover. Is that bad? Is that like?
Nothing wrong with that. You're innocent.
All right. Well, let's start it out. 1981, as we just saw, there's the album right there. Too Fast for Love. And here we go. My top 2. Number 2, Merry Go Round. I mean, it's just, like I said, this album, classic to me, top to bottom, solid. So this is one really hard to do to get those top 2. And number 1, it actually is my favorite song of all time from Motley Crue, and that is On With the Show.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so Jimbo, where you at?
I got to go. You came close, Jason. My number 2 is On With the Show. It's almost like a badass musical rock theater where you're basically seeing what it takes to make the show happen, and you just got to go on with the show, baby. Come on, baby. No.
Hell yeah.
And a whole new generation of fans of discovering that since The Dirt came out as well. So
yeah,
prominently featured in the movie.
Yeah, that's right. Well said, Dave. But my number 1 has got to still be my love for cowbells on Livewire, baby. We used to always just crank that song before we went out on a party, and we said, all right, one last roadie. Let's pound that last beer before we go to the party, before we go on with the show, because we're live, baby. Livewire is my number 1. D?
Of course, I'm thinking of of the SNL skit. More cowboy, please.
Yeah.
Come on.
You got the fever.
So, guys, back in the late 90s, Motley Records were generous enough to ship me the entire catalog on Motley Records.
Wow.
So, if you look very closely, there's skill in plastic. There's really no need to take them out of the plastic since I already have the others that I play over and over and over again. Record had a huge impact on me, easily in the top 5 of, top 5 rock debuts of all time, gotta say. First discovered this album, and the songs I seem to be playing the most of that I just can't get enough of. Number 2, Come On and Dance.
Ooh.
Mixed crunchy ass opening riff. Can't be beat on that. And then number 1 is going to be piece of your action.
Oh, you want a piece.
Come on. The build up, mix solo, that intense thing he's got shredding, you know, and from top to bottom, badass song. Little interesting story that goes with Too Fast for Love. Back in the day when I was a teenager, I happened to live in Covina, California.
That was a long time ago.
Long time ago, even more of a long time ago, was I was a paper boy, and on my paper route, not only was she a customer of mine, but she was also my neighbor. And that was Vince Neil's ex-girlfriend, the mother of his son, Neil. Used to see the little kid ride around in the complex on his little big wheel. He must have been 4 years old. And he was talked about his daddy proudly when he saw me out on the courtyard there. And it was something. Great memories.
Very that's cool. Great story, Dave.
Yes. So Jason, number 2.
All right, number 2. In 1983, 2 years later, we got the classic Shout at the Devil, which I have on vinyl, not to brag or anything like that.
Oh, can I brag? Mine's signed by all 4 guys.
Oh, let me just kind of real quick. I want to just kind of like when you open it up, which has a cool inside, I have right here the official, if you want to be part of the official Sin Club, you can order some t-shirts and stuff like that and some merch and everything like that.
Nice. Swag, baby.
This album right here, I mean, this is kind of like almost like, because I'm a lot, like I mentioned in the first episode, I'm a lot younger than both of you. This was the one where the videos came out galore. This is like, you know, Motley Crue came out the right time, prime time MTV, and my number 2 has to be 10 Seconds to Love. That's my number 2. Got that cool vibe throughout the whole thing. And number 1 introduced me to this, and this is what I do almost with every picture I take from 1983 to present day, because I saw Tommy Lee and Nikki do this at the end of the video. Too Young to Fall in Love. Probably one of my favorite videos of all time right there. Jimbo, what you got?
Dang, Jay. You know what? Why drag it on anymore? We have a match, everybody. 10 Seconds to Love is my number 2 because that's all they had time for back in the day with their groupies. If you want a piece of Motley Crue, we'll give you 10 Seconds to Love because I got to move on to the next one, baby. My number 1 also was Too Young to Fall in Love, and I got to tell the guys of Motley Crue this story because I actually had to listen to that song 10 times in a row before I broke up with a high school girlfriend to give me the cojones to do it. And not trying to brag, but I told them that story in this picture.
Whoa! Top, was that like late 90s?
Yeah, late 90s when they opened up the Screwed clothing store in Hollywood. But I'm the one that's a little bit pudgier and shorter than Vince, in case you can't tell.
You sure that's not the lead singer of Leonard Skinner with them?
Come on, Jay. All right, Dave, move on. Do we got a trifecta of matches?
Well, I'll tell you what, we all love this album. And tell you what, when it came out, it was very anticipated. Everybody couldn't wait to get their hands on it. It came out the very same day as Kiss's Lick It Up. And remember how Licorice Pizza used to have the big displays of records?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was crowding around the Motley record, grabbing the Motley record, and just kind of dissing the Kiss album. And it was an oddball time for Kiss. We'll get to that some other time. But I grabbed the Motley album. I ran home, put it on the turntable, and I was disappointed.
Oh my gosh.
I get that reaction all the time, guys.
Blasphemy.
I was so used to Too Fast for Love. Yes, it is blasphemy times 12. Yes, when you look back on it. But it was so different. It was the polar opposite of Too Fast. I was expecting something along those lines, and they went the complete opposite. Long story short, it took me about a week, and then it became my favorite album. And
okay, all right.
To this day, yes, there is a redeeming end to this. I can't get enough of this album to this day, and I'm gonna go with number 2, Knock 'Em Dead Kid. Great riff.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with all of Mick's riffs on this album. They're blistering. Number 1, gonna have to be Bastard.
Wow.
Damn.
He went deep. He went deep.
Literally with the knife.
He went B-sides, which is not a bad thing.
No.
So Jason, on with number 3. What do we got?
2 years, Motley Crue had a pattern. Album tour. And there we go. 1985, 2 years later, we got Theater of Pain. You know, like I said, this is them at this video's going strong and everything like that. Motley Crue starting to dominate the world. This is the year after Van Halen broke up, you know, David Lee Roth and everything like that. So like I said, they took the mantle and kind of like took it and went to a whole nother level with some of this stuff. So my number 2 is gonna have to be Louder Than Hell, because they are a little bit louder than hell. Yeah. And now Dave's gonna kind of wince at this one. My number 1, and I have to go with this because this was the definition of the ballad, the rock ballad, and Home Sweet Home is my number 1 for that one. That's just how I gotta go. One of the best videos you've ever seen of all time. It shows what 1985 looked like in the world when it came to touring, and they represented that very well. Jimbo, what you got?
Yep, I'm going number 2, Louder Than Hell as well. We got a match on that one, Jay, because it feels like a switchblade going right into your ear hole, baby, because it's just like a creeping, crawling, and then louder than hell. And you can't deny that they did it every time they were in stadiums. So, but Jay and Dave, my number 1.
Yes. Let's go, Jimbo Lee.
Circle gets the square.
Home Sweet Home, one of the greatest rock videos of all time. I don't get tired of it. And I was at the show that they made one of the shots, they made the video where you see the crutch go up in the crowd, cheering the crowd on. If you watch the Home Sweet Home, I was at that Chicago show.
Wow.
And that was the first time I saw Motley Crue. And I'll never forget, Tommy's drums evolved later, but they just went up. So he was playing like this, and it said, "Bite me, Chicago." And I said, that is so rock. And I know Dave is going to go deeper than Jay and I did, but I couldn't deny the power of Home Sweet Home. Dave?
Very good. That and Smoking in the Boys' Room is probably what saved that album, guys. Because I think my opinion is this album is the weakest link in the Vince Neil era Motley catalog. It's a collective album. Got this. You listen to it today. It leaves a lot to be desired as far as production. It certainly doesn't hold up with the times as far as sound like the others do, and the songwriting and the arrangements and stuff. But there still are some gems on this one. So number 2 is going to have to be the opener, City Boy Blues.
All right. That's
good song. Number 1.
Here, let me guess, Dave.
Can you do Louder Than Hell on the Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Well, we kind of matched a little bit. That song is great live, too.
Yeah.
Great. So, Jason, on to when Motley just did a 180 once again. What do we got?
This is because in Theater Pain, they were a little glammy and everything like that.
You think?
Just a little bit.
They almost dressed like my mom.
Right. and 2 years later, like I said, the Motley Crue formula, we got girls, girls, girls. Girls, look at this. And yeah, that's right. And yeah, like Dave said, they kind of went back more to their kind of shout at the devil, Too Fast for Love grind and everything like that. That's what you got with this album. My number 2 has to go All in the Name of rock and roll.
Oh, all right.
Great anthem.
I just think because I've seen them in concert 6 times, you usually hear this one, and you know how songs sound a little different on the album, obviously, than live, and that one is a really good live song. And number 1 has to be my favorite Motley Crue video of all time.
No.
Close.
Oh, okay.
Wild Side.
Oh, look at Jay.
Come on, that's like I said, I know that's like the popular song you hear on the radio, on terrestrial radio and other radios. But like I said, that's the epitome. That's probably at the time they were doing their most drugs and everything like that. They had to cancel that European tour. If you watch Behind the Music, because someone was going to come home in a body bag if they went to Europe on that. So watch the Behind the Music, everybody. If you haven't seen that VH1 Behind the Music of Motley Crue, the best one of all time. And so that's my number one. Jimbo, what you got?
Well, I like the name of the album, Girls, Girls, Girls. It kind of reminds me of the life I live, if you were to name it. Wife, wife, wives. I'm on my third marriage right now. And if you want a little side project, feel free. Jimbo and Jackie show side gig, third time's a charm. But I digress a little bit. I got to go number two, Dancing on Glass to me. I thought it was a nice, filthy song, and especially when you saw it live and he had the Nasty Habits. Vince's background singers, they brought that song to extra life. So I'm going with the crazy ass lifestyle, and they sung about it, Dancing on Glass. But number one, I thought the video couldn't be topped with Home Sweet Home, but Wild Side came pretty damn close. And I'm going with the musical motorcycle ride of being on the stage with the band and seeing how cool it was to be in the band, because the video showed it, and it was like one of those stories that you just strapped in and you couldn't wait to hear what the next lyrics were before the chorus, because great song that sung about the wild side, baby. Dave?
Yeah. Well, great album. Sort of back to their roots, sort of kind of Tony, stripping everything down as far as their sound goes. I remember the first time I heard Girls, Girls, Girls on the radio, and the second chorus comes in where Vince kind of screeches and raises the voice to the top. I was like, ooh! My ears started ringing. But we quickly got used to it. Top to bottom, solid. This one was actually tough to grab a second. The second one, I'm going to have to go with the anthem, Jason, All the Name of.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Great anthem. Still sounds great today. I think Tom Werman upped his production skills on this one and really made it tight, and it still sounds really good. Number one, baby, come on. Wild Side.
Yeah. Never gets old, does it, Dave?
Never. Never. Video's cool. Great live video. Just a perfect song from top to bottom. Cannot go wrong. Great album. Yep. Saw that tour at the Forum.
Nice.
October of '87. Good memories.
We were probably there with you.
Were you?
I might have been. I don't know. I went. Jay, did you go to that concert tour? Were you out in California yet?
I didn't see that. The first tour I went will be about the album we're going to talk about next. That's the one that I saw in Los Angeles.
All right, let's hit it, buddy.
And here we go. What happened 2 years later after Girls, Girls, Girls? We got Dr. Feelgood.
Ah, yes.
Like I said, like I mentioned 35 seconds before, this was the first time I saw them live. And I want to say, I think it was LA Guns maybe opened, or maybe it was, I can't remember now who opened up for them that year. I can't remember. Dave will probably tell me.
Yeah, usually I have great memories about stuff like that, and it's not coming to me yet.
Yeah.
Too many rum and cokes.
Yeah, couple. All right, but yeah, like I said, this is the album that probably like the music geeks will be like, wow, this is probably the best produced, most crisp, clean album of all of them so far. And I know like I'm gonna get kind of maybe made fun of for my number two.
No pressure.
Because it's not even a song that they really. You only probably saw this in concert once when they did the whole album that won on the Crew Fest. Time for Change is my number two. It's kind of like, it's almost like my secret pleasure song, because I just think it's just a very it's got amazing guitar. I know it's not even like the ones that people even request. That's just the one when I bought on cassette. And
I think I'd rather watch Grandpa and Grandpa's sex tape than listen to that song.
I know.
Jason, I do like the fact that you went deep. You went deep. That's my
All
man.
right. I'll give him credit for that.
All right. And then my number one is because I've seen him 6 times, and this song live sounds way better live, It's Same Old Situation. Sounds badass live, and that's my number one.
All right.
Jimbo, what you got?
Well, you're going to hate this, but I didn't go very deep at all because my number 2 is Don't Go Away Mad, baby, because it's just kind of like one of those like little rock and roll kumbayas. It's like, hey, don't go away mad. Just fucking go away. Okay, that's all we're saying. And I think we've all been with a couple lady friends that we just said, just go away. Okay, we had fun. Just go away.
And the video kind of pronounces what you're talking about.
Yes.
Then threw that chick to the curb.
Yeah, that's right. And number 1, I'm going to go with the audio crystal meth sound of Kickstart My Heart. I still dig it. It just gets you pumped no matter where you are. If you're having a little bit of drag ass day,
Nice.
put that on. Dave, hit it.
Very pleasantly surprised when this album came out. At first listen, I mean, the sound, I mean, it just sounded like they took 3 years to produce it. It was just worked out all the kinks. It was meticulous. Bob Rock came in, did his magic. And of course, from the very beginning, opening of TNT Tinseltown and into Feel Good and all the rest of the song, super clean sounding.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, have you heard Lars Ulrich from Metallica talk about how they nabbed Bob Rock to produce the Black Album 2 years later because he heard Tommy Lee's snare drum?
Oh, badass.
Like, damn, who did that? You know, and so they got Bob Rock to do that.
Fun fact.
Yeah, ain't denying the production is badass. It's top notch. Real poppy kind of. It's kind of like a la Girls, but really hard. Especially, you know, we're talking about there's at least a couple songs here that if I never heard them again, I'd be okay. Thank you, radio. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You know, so of course. But going back to what I was feeling when I first heard this album, I'm gonna have to go with number 2, and that would be Same Old Situation.
Ah, look at Dave.
It's lively. Can't say it never gets tired because I've heard it clocking in at 102,011 times now. But great song, top to bottom, and of course the opening song, title track, Dr. Feel Good at number 1.
Nice. Can't argue with that. All right, now it's time to rank them, ain't it, Jay?
Yes, it is.
Your top 3.
Good segue. All right, my top 3. Number 3 is, and it's because it has a lot of hits, and that's the first, like I mentioned earlier, the first tour I seen them live, and that's Dr. Feelgood.
All right. Yeah, number 3.
That's number 3. Number 2 definitely has to be Shout at the Devil.
Oh, okay.
Number 2. And number 1, because it's kind of like, to me, it's perfect.
Yes.
They pretty much kind of took punk music and punched them in the throat. And we said, here's the new music that we're going to listen to for a while. And number 1, Too Fast for Love.
Ooh, number 1, baby. All right. I'm going to go with my number 3 as Girls, Girls, Girls. I think that whole era, I think the tours, I think the videos have shaped me to like that album more than Dr. Feelgood. I got to be honest. Dr. Feelgood was great and groundbreaking for a lot of the people, but I went back to Girls, Girls, Girls because I thought that it just totally signified that time right there. My number 2 would have to be Too Fast for Love. Some of the songs to me, they're all good, but a few of them sound very, very similar to me. So that's why the only reason it dropped to number 2. And my number 1 would have to be Shout at the Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not shouting with the devil. No, I don't agree with you, Mr. Satan. I'm shouting at the devil.
That's right.
Dave, your top 3.
Well, Jim, real quick, before I get into number 3, let me do a little sidebar here and tell you that if somehow we were doing the whole entire Motley catalog, this album deserves a little spotlight, and that is the self-titled album from 1984, Just replacing Vince Neil on vocals. And man, when you hear this, you're thinking they could have hired Corabi a lot earlier.
Wow.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
should have changed the name of the band when they hired Corabi, I think.
Maybe. How many bands have a one original member and still have the same name? I mean,
The cool thing.
I'm not down with that, but.
Okay, me and John Corabi had lunch at the Fantasy Topless Theater in Colton and drank a few pitchers of beer. No food was involved, but a lot of breastnesses and beers.
Me and John Corabi, who I call Steven Tyler Jr., this guy can sing anything. And for me, it's kind of the way Motley, was meant to be with this guy on vocals. Me and John actually had probably about 45 minutes of conversation at one point. That was probably back in '97. He told me his last night with Motley Crue and how it all went down. It involved Tommy and Pam. It didn't involve any kind of relations or sex tape, but it did involve those two. And I'll leave it at that. Maybe some other time I'll tell you the story. But it was really heartfelt, and he was such a cool guy. And man, oh man, this album, if you haven't listened to it, geez, I mean, there's so many great songs. Power to the Music, Welcome to the Numb, Mick Mars's possibly finest moment is.
Which one of those was featured in The Dirt, Dave? I forget.
Smoke the Sky.
Which one was in The Dirt? I forget.
You know what? I've seen The Dirt like 6 times, and I don't recall what song from this album was in there. Maybe it was too many margaritas or Mai Tais or something.
Maybe so.
Always a Friday or Saturday night when that movie's on. But
right,
man, oh man. Okay, so barring that, top 3 Crue albums with Vince Neil. I don't even know if I have anything to say, Jim, because you mirrored everything I was gonna say about number 3, Girls, Girls, Girls.
A great one.
Crucial Crue, Motley Records. It was just dirty and grimy and all about Hollywood, and kind of reminded me of Shout the Devil, sort of, just on the other side of things. But unbelievable record. It edges out Feel Good for me. Has better songs on it.
I agree.
That's number 3. Number 2. I mean, this album had a tremendous impact on me. I discovered it, early on. I think I was the first person that I knew that owned it.
Number 2?
Is it New Tattoo? Oh!
Dave!
Incredible, incomparable debut of this band. From top to bottom. Bam, 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 bam. I can't believe that was the debut of some band. It's just amazing. But the album that I hated, and it took me a week or 2 to get used to.
Yeah,
I love it, and it's timeless, and it's probably in the top 5 of my all-time favorite metal albums of all time. It'd be this one, baby.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. We got a match, Dave. Look at us. We're beautiful together.
Let's have a beer.
I like that thinking. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, very nice. Can't argue with that.
So, that funny story, that Too Fast for Love story, going back when I was the paper boy of Vince Neil's ex. Her name was Tammy, and she lived in the same apartment complex as me. And you probably know by watching The Dirt that Tommy and Vince are from Covina. So
and she's right here. She wants to say hi.
Hey, remember me? I look a little bit different, but I'm here to collect.
Right on. Hey, quick little fun fact. My first tattoo ever was at Sunset Strip Tattoos.
I was with you.
Where I saw Nikki Sixx film getting his tattoo. And there it is. All right, wrong one. That little devil playing guitar was done at Sunset Strip Tattoo because I saw a video with Nikki Sixx getting his tat work done there. So,
wow.
I love the Crue, baby.
Yep. Well, we all do.
So do you and you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Right on. Well, we're stopping there because that's where the dirt stopped, Dave.
Yes.
So I think you guys should start your debates. Feel free, leave us some comments. Be sure to subscribe to our show. Like it, debate it, don't like it, but just subscribe. That's all we care about. You know what I mean? So start your list. We want to hear. Go ahead and comment. What were your favorite songs and what was your top 3 albums? Right, Jay?
Hell yeah. Dave, you any final thoughts, Dave, before we end this?
We'll see you next time with another exciting band.
Jim, play us out. Jim, play us out. Home sweet home.
Oh.
We love you guys. Here we are. Who are we, Jay?
3 dudes, 1 band.
Yeah.